Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantump. Hope you guys are all having a really good weekend so far. It's a very exciting weekend. We've got the NCAA tournament going on, which is super fun to keep up with. And then we've also got our first regional tournament, which has returned to the United States. It's so much fun just kind of watching the stream, seeing it all unfold, seeing a lot of my friends kind of play on stream and watching their minds work and how they're countering every move that their opponent makes. It's so cool. So I hope you're able to keep up with some of that. We're right in the middle of day 2 right now. And we're going to talk later in the week about what kind of impact on the market regional events have and really competitive play in general. But a lot of Arceus V, a lot of different variants for that, a lot of Mew VMAX, kind of in day 2. And then we've also got some really interesting decks going on, like Jolteon VMAX is making an appearance. We've got this really cool list involving Suicune V and Ludicolo, which is going to be in the top 8. It's so much fun to just kind of sit there and watch all of it unfold. So I'm really excited to see how it plans out. I've got a very exciting week planned for you guys with hopefully some really big announcements and definitely a giant contest involving, or a giant giveaway involving Evolving Skies booster boxes, which I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So if you are hyped, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment, leave a like. It goes a long way for the algorithm. Very excited to get into all that. But for today's video, we're going to go back to alternate arts, and we're going to take part 2 of our series going over alternate arts in the market. And we're going to focus mainly on modern alternate arts, all the ones that have come out so far in the Sword and Shield block, and there are so many of them. Usually when we go over a market video, we like to analyze about 18 to 20 cards. There's over 40 of them here, so we're going to go as quickly as we can. I know your guys' time is precious to you, so I want to kind of jump into things right away. We're going to go in set order. We're going to start out with battle styles, and for the most part, really consistent as far as how these have performed when it comes to battle styles, alternate arts. We did see about a 20% drop for the Empoleon V. It started out at $25.20 right back in December, and then it hit a low point recently, kind of at the beginning of March, of $21.68. It's rebounded a little bit, but only to $22.56. So, like I said, it's lost about 20%. A lot of that has to do with that giant influx of product. For those of you who don't know, we had multiple waves and multiple reprints and restocks of all these booster boxes at the end of November, beginning of December, involving Evolving Skies, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike. So much more product hit the market and really kind of shrunk that demand way down because supply was so plentiful. So a lot of singles dropped, a lot of sealed product dropped. It was super interesting. Then we've got Tyranitar V, which is obviously the most expensive card in that battle style set. But Tyranitar V had a high point right around the same time, kind of in beginning of December, middle of December, of $72.26, and it's been a little up and down ever since then. It hit $64.68 at the end of February, and it's rebounded a little bit since then. So it'll be interesting to see how it continues on this path, this upward trend that it's got going on right now, but it's sitting at $67.86 currently. If we look at Blaziken Vmax, and this is the introduction to Chilling Reign, where we have a ton of alternate arts, really the first set where we started getting overloaded with some of these alternate arts. Blaziken Vmax is the most expensive one of the bunch, and I can't really blame anybody for why it's the most expensive, because the artwork on this is absolutely gorgeous. $114.44 was its high point back in December, and then it hit a low point of $94.21 recently, but look how consistent it was for a few months before kind of dropping back down to $94.21, which is where it's sitting right now. The Galleria Moltres is actually on an upward trend, which is a little different than what we've seen so far, and a little different than a lot of these sets that aren't named Evolving Skies, and we'll get into that in a second here. But Galerian Moltres V, 86.09 was its high point, which it actually hit about a month ago, and it's dropped down a little bit to 83.06 right now, as you can see. But its low point was a little different. It actually hit right after that giant product dump kind of occurred. So right at the end of December, it dropped all the way down to 73.22, and now it's gained over 10% of that back, closer to 20% of that back, sitting at 83.06. Then we've got Calrix VMAX right here sitting at $70.20 as the high point, much like the other ones. Right at the end of December is when it hit its high point over the last 3 months, and it's been doing nothing but going downhill since then. $56.15 is its current low point, and that's the lowest it's been over the last 3 months. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how it rebounds as we move forward here, as more Chilling Reign product kind of gets opened. Eventually we'll be at a point where Chilling Reign is no longer available, but it doesn't seem like that point is coming anytime soon because there is such a plethora of it kind of in the market. Galerian Zapdos has been a little interesting because it's really been filled with ups and downs, and some drastic ones at that. At one point, its $46.78 high point was hit at the end of December, dropped all the way down to $39.29. Then it started rebounding to the point where a lot of people thought, hey, this card's going to go up quite a bit, but then it dropped back down at the beginning of March. So now it's starting that upward trend again, so it might get another dip, might get another valley, but we'll see how things unfold over the next few weeks. If we look at Xero Aura V, 52.69 was its high point again, which it hit at the beginning of or end of December. It went all the way down to 41.57 a couple weeks ago, and now it's starting to trend in the upward direction, but sitting at 43.02 currently. I do like the artwork on that card. I think it's really, really cool. Then we've got an Ice Rider Calrix VMAX, 47.38 for its high point back at the end of December. 41.62 is its current market price. It also is its low market price. So very much on a downward trend when it comes to that Calrix VMAX. The Galerian Articuno, this is the lowest of the three alternate art birds. $41.13 was its high point, which it hit at the end of December, beginning of January. Dropped all the way down to $32.98, kind of in the middle of February. Now it's rebounded a little bit, sitting at $34.65. The next one that we're going to look at is Galerian Rapidash. I love the artwork on the Galerian Rapidash. For some reason, every time I convert my Excel document over to a Google Sheet, it does not carry over like the middle section when it comes to fonts and pictures. But we've got Galerian Rapidash, which we're going to look at right now. High point of $29.39, low point of $26.39. So not a whole lot of difference there as far as price goes. You're only looking at about 15-ish%. It hit its high point right at the middle of January, and its low point was actually kind of at the end of December when we saw a lot of those high points hit. Now it's been staying fairly consistent ever since then, where you can see kind of in between its high point and low point, a little bit closer to its high than its low. Next up, we're going to look at the Shadow Rider Calrix V alternate art. Its high point it actually hit not too long ago in the middle of February, was 24.82. Its low point was 22.26, which it hit in the middle of January. So right after it hit its low point, it started going up and up and up and up, and now it's kind of shrunk back down a little bit, but it's sitting at 24.41, much closer to its high point over the last 3 months than its low point. Next, we're going to look at the Galarian Slowking V, high point of 24.28, low point of 20.44. Again, not a huge difference right there. You're only looking at about 20% of a difference, but that's still a fairly significant portion to be looking at. 24.28, it hit right at the end of December. Its low point it actually hit recently at the beginning of March, and now it's starting to trend upwards a little bit, but we'll see if that kind of carries over the next few weeks. Next up, we're going to look at the Ice Rider Calrix V. This is a really cool looking card. 25.56 was its high point, which it hit back in December. Started trailing down a little bit and then really started gaining a little bit of speed back until January, February, and then right at the beginning of March, now it's dropped way back down. It's at $20.51, and that is actually its 3-month low point is what its current market price is. If we look at the Blissey V, another really cool artwork card, 21.83 was its high point. Again, you're only looking at about a 10% difference on this one. So this card has been very, very consistent. It actually hit its high point right in the middle of February, and its low point was at the end of December. So when a lot of those other cards were at, kind of at their peak, that's when Blissey V was at its low point. It really started to trend upwards, but now it's hit a downward spiral ever since then. Now it's starting to climb back up a little bit, where it's at $20.40, so smack dab in between its 3-month high and 3-month low. Tornadus V has been nothing but consistent over the past 3 months. It had its high point at the end of December of 22.29, and then it hit its low point right in the middle of January at 15.92. But it's been right around that $16 mark pretty much ever since then, currently sitting at $17.11. Then we move on to Evolving Skies, and this has been... Evolving Skies is like no set I've ever seen before, because it is just continuing to trend upwards. And I know people want more product, people want reprints, but for the most part, this set has been produced and printed just as much as all the other Sword and Shield sets. It's just the demand for this set because of these alternate arts is like nothing we've ever seen before, even more so than maybe Hidden Fates. If we look at the Umbreon VMAX, it's really spiked over this last month. 292.60 is its high point over the last 3 months, and that's where it's sitting right now. Its low point of 164.76, it actually hit at the end of December, and just look at this graph, nothing but upward trends all over the place. Same thing with the Rayquaza VMAX. It hit its high point not too long ago at 211.17. It's dropped down a little bit, sitting at 204.71, but look at how far up it is from its low point, which it hit at the end of December at $150.74. I mean, you were looking at dramatic increases over the last 3 months. Then we've got Leafeon VMAX, which is the 3rd most expensive card in the Evolving Skies set, sitting at $115.25. It's currently sitting at a 3-month high. Its low point of 73.87, it hit at the end of December. So much like all these other cards that were seeing their high point at the end of December, Evolving Skies kind of saw their low point at the end of December, right when booster boxes started going up in price a little bit. If you remember, at the end of November, we started seeing booster boxes of Evolving Skies right around $100. A lot of that product kind of got opened, and now all of a sudden When product became a little less available and booster boxes got a little bit more expensive, closer to that $120 mark, people were like, okay, well, let's buy singles instead. And now you can really see the impact of that with all of these Evolving Skies alternate arts kind of really hitting their 3-month highs right now. 78.81 for Galerian Vmax. It hit at the end of December. That was its low point. 110.43. Another card that is at its current 3-month high. Galerian Vmax. Very, very interesting to see. All these alternate arts just continue to go in an upward direction. Sylveon V Max is a little bit lower than its 3-month high. Its 3-month high, which it hit a couple weeks ago, was 104.42. Currently sitting at 103.05. But if you would have bought it at the end of December, you were looking at 86.49. So quite a difference. You know, you're looking at about 30% right there as far as the difference goes in cost over the last 3 months. If we look at the Umbreon V, it actually hit its low point of 76.39 in the middle of January. It has been doing nothing but increasing since then. 104.42 is actually the number for Sylveon VMAX. I didn't copy that over correctly. 93.24 is the actual market high right now over the last 3 months for Umbreon V, and that's where it's sitting right now. If we look at the Rayquaza V alternate art, this card's been a little bit more up and down. Same thing with the Dragonite V. 81.18 was its high point, which it actually hit kind of at the end of February. Its low point was hit in the middle of January of 74.46. Right now it's sitting right around $78, so it's in a downward trend, unlike a lot of those other Evolving Skies cards. If we look at Dragonite V, its high point of 74.96, that's a lot closer to what we've seen in sets not named Evolving Skies. It hit 74.96 at the end of December, and then dropped down a little bit, went back up, and now it's dropped down in February to 65.60, where it hit its 3-month low, and then it trended back upwards to 72.42, where it's sitting right now, and hit 74.96 back at the end of December. If we're looking at Leafeon V, its high point of 64.08 is where it's sitting right now. So it's at a 3-month high, hit its low point of 45.77 at the end of December, been doing nothing but trending upward since then. Same thing with the Galerian V alternate art, hit its low point of $50.71 in the middle of January, and then that's done nothing but increase. 63.97 is its current market price, or 63.87 is its current market price. Its high point of 63.97, it just hit a few days ago. Sylveon V, 63.99 as its high point. This is one of the cards that is actually trended in the downward direction. Its low point of 48.25 is what it hit in the middle of January. Started going up quite a bit, and now it's trended downwards quite a bit, where the point of its current market price is actually in between its high point and its low point. Very interesting when it comes to Sylveon V as opposed to the other cards from Evolving Skies. Likewise with Espeon V, its high point of 58.04, it hit right in the beginning of February, and then went down a little bit, went back up a little bit, and now it's trending back downwards and sitting currently at 55.20, which is closer to that 52.40 mark, which it hit as its low kind of at the end of December. Then we've got Noivern V, so we've got a few of the cheaper cards from Evolving Skies, a few of the cheaper alternate arts. Noivern V, 31.67. This is a lot more like what we've seen with the other alternate art sets. 31.67, it hit at the end of December. Its low point of $27 is actually where it's sitting right now. Doraldon Vmax, this is a secret rare alternate art from Evolving Skies, by far the cheapest of the secret rare alternate arts in Evolving Skies. $27.10. It actually hit a few weeks ago. Now it's sitting at $26.27. Its low point of $24.52. It hit back in the middle of January, so not a huge difference as far as dollar value goes. Still looking at about a 10% difference as far as percentage goes. The Doraldon V alternate art was at $19.98 currently. That's its 3-month high. It hit its low point of $15.98 actually in the middle of February, so a little bit different as far as when its low point was hit. The Golurk V from Evolving Skies, a high point of $22.07, which it hit back at the end of December. Its low point of $16.93, it actually hit a few weeks ago, and then started trending upwards a little bit, where it's sitting at $17.32, but still far off from where it sat at the end of December. Medicham V saw a huge drop after December when it was at its high point of $15.48, dropped pretty much its entire percentage points, all 10%, all the way down to $13.07, so over 10%, kind of in the middle of January. And it rebounded really nicely, and now it's kind of trending downwards again, where it's sitting at $14.75. Moving on to Fusion Strike, not quite as many alternate arts in Fusion Strike, thankfully. We got a little bit of a chance to kind of back off of all of those ultra rares, even though Fusion Strike is a massive set. Espeon VMAX has performed really well and has actually increased in value to the point where it's sitting at its 3-month high right now of 107.17. Its low point of 92.37, it hit at the end of January. Gengar VMAX, a very popular card that was played a lot in Salt Lake City this weekend. 106.85 was its high point, which it hit kind of at the beginning of January. Then it dropped down, and in the middle of February, it hit its 3-month low of 89.59. Now it's kind of trending upwards a little bit, sitting at 94.90, so about $5 more expensive than where it was just a month ago. If we look at the Mew VMAX, kind of trending in the downward direction for the last 3 months, right? 95.39 was its high point, which it hit at the end of December. A couple weeks ago, it hit $69.19. It's gained a little bit back, sitting at 72.51, but still much lower than what it was at the end of December. Same thing with Mew V, 56.33, its high point. Hit it a little bit later than Mew VMAX. It hit it in the beginning of January, middle of January. Its low point of 45.60, it also hit a couple weeks ago. It's gained a little bit back, sitting at 46.31. We've got a few more left here. We've got the Antelli VMAX, very cool looking card. 38.54, its high point was hit kind of at the beginning of January, but then we got that second wave of Fusion Strike, or third wave of Fusion Strike, I should say. So then a lot more products started getting opened. $29.30 is its low point, which it hit just a couple weeks ago. $29.59 is where it's sitting right now, so still definitely trending in a downward direction. Genesect V, this breakdancing Genesect, which a lot of people love. $37.92 was its high point, which it hit at the end of December. Dropped all the way down to $24.87, which it hit a couple weeks ago. Then it kind of gained a little bit of that back, a little luster back. $27.11 is where it's sitting currently. Then we've got Celebi V, really cool looking card, and this one kind of surprises me a little bit, especially because it's at a 3-month low right now, sitting at $23.83. Its high point of $32.19. It hit right at the beginning of January, but it's been doing really nothing since then except going down. Had a little bit of a blip here where it started increasing, but kind of just a random occurrence because it started going down right after that. The last two that we're going to look at are Greedent V and Sandaconda V. Definitely a lot less popular when it comes to the alternate arts. Greedent V hit $18.01 at the end of December, but really, again, it's been doing nothing since then except declining. It's sitting at $12.13 at the beginning of March. It's gained a little bit of that back, but not much for the most part. It's consistently just gone downhill. It's currently sitting at $12.40. Finally, Sandaconda V, $9.18 was its high point, which it hit right at the beginning of January, but now it's had a 3-month low sitting at $6.19. Just not enough love for Sandaconda V. It is a cool looking card, but a little surprising, I guess, that it was an alternate art, especially with how many printings there was of it already. Currently sitting at $6.19. So those are all of the alternate arts that we have so far in the Sword and Shield block. Really interesting to kind of see the graphics and the trends and see what cards are performing. It'll be really interesting to see what happens if an Evolving Skies reprint does get announced, a full-blown reprint. I know there have been some talks about some distributors getting additional product in, but I don't think it's a full reprint. I think maybe it's either some product that they were kind of sitting on, or maybe Pokemon was like, okay, we're going to send out the rest of this Wave 3 that we didn't send out originally, because a lot of bundles are being offered to storefronts where it's like, hey, you can get Rebel Clash, you can get Evolving Skies, but you also have to take all this Fusion Strike, all this Chilling Reign, all of this battle style. So I think a lot of distributors are kind of trying to dump a lot of that excess Evolving Skies stock that way. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if Evolving Skies does get a full-blown reprint announced. We should see some of these products kind of drop down in price, but there are some really, really huge gains, especially when it comes to some of these Evolution VMAX cards that have trended upwards like crazy. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think, what kind of input you have. I wanted to give you guys this information so you can make the best possible decision on where to spend your collection dollars, because I know some of these cards can get a little pricey, but there are some in here that are very, very affordable. I love the artwork behind alternate art cards. We'll see how Pokemon decides to kind of market those moving forward, especially because we had so many of them in Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies. Finally, with Brilliant Stars, we got a little bit of a break. There were still a few in there, but then we also had the Trainer Gallery cards. So right now, it just seems like we're overloaded a little bit with alternate arts, and you want to keep those, as unique as possible if you're looking at long-term value and things like that. So definitely leave a like and a comment down below, because it does go a long way for the algorithm. Most importantly, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers this year, and we're not going to get there without you guys. So thank you so much for all of your support. I really appreciate you all, and we will see you guys soon. Peace!